This is by TP-Link. It's their new Deco system, which they sent over to me to show you guys. And I'm going to start by installing it in my house and step-by-step installation and how I'm doing this. Now, of course, I don't script these videos, so this is going to be step-by-step as we go. This is set up. There is actually a Deco app that you can download directly to your phone, so I'm going to do the setup with my phone with the Deco app. So it makes it fairly easy there. And we'll get started by showing you what's inside the box. Lovely suction, right? Boxed fairly well. It's got nice padding on there. So this is the 3-pack of the Deco system. They each have, they kind of remind me of the Eero, where you have the 2 Ethernet ports on there. USB-C for power, which I actually like it a lot. I like having that universal capability. There's a reset button there. Otherwise, just a light indicator right in the center of the Deco unit itself. From there, let's see if I can get this thing to pop up. And of course, tells you right here on the App Store as well as Google Play that there is the app available, which I've already downloaded to my phone. In here, we have just each individual power adapter for the unit. So, power adapter USB Type-C. So I have 3 of those, for 1 for each unit. They do give you an Ethernet cable if you don't already have one, or if you prefer the nice little flat cables that they give you. And then they also give you a little documentation guide, which the nice thing about this, it does give you information about the router, but also gives you what the indicator lights say. So in here, there's a little, user agreement bolt. But this tells you about the actual unit itself. So quad-core CPU on the actual Deco units themselves. Wireless, they're 400 megabits on the 2.4 gigahertz and 867 megabits on the 5 gigahertz stream. They have 4 internal antennas, 2 gigabit ports, so each of those are actually gigabit ports. USB Type-C port, they are compatible with IPv6, and then the size, Bluetooth 4.2, and then they kind of give you a diagram of where everything is. And on the back side, light status, so yellow is startup, blue pulse is Deco is ready for setup, so that'll be through the app. Blue solid is Deco is actually setting up, so obviously you've sent something through the app. Green is registered and all as well. Red is there is an issue, which is typical, right? If it's red, it's going to say, hey, there's something wrong with me, I don't have internet or something, right? So probably keep those out, keep those handy in case you need to have a refresh of what those mean. But yellow setting up, or yellow is starting up, blues, whether it's flashing or solid, is in the setup phase. Green is good. We want green in the end, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to start by taking one of these units and getting it powered up and connected to my modem. I've already unplugged my modem in terms of power. So I've unplugged my modem to get the power out of it because I don't want... I want to have a fresh setup whenever you do this. So my cable modem is going to have an IP address that's linked to my current router. When you replace the router, you gotta have to power cycle the modem so it gets a fresh IP address or a fresh MAC address from the router itself. So I already did that. We're gonna go up there, we're gonna plug this in, and we're gonna go from there. So this may look familiar, but my modem up here, if you've watched any of my other videos, I have one of the Deco units. I have the power cord plugged in back here actually to my surge protector directly. But on back here, these ports are universal, so it will actually figure out what is coming in, what is going out, or whatever. So I have a switch that goes to my computer or whatever, so I'm going to plug that in, but also the modem in. So you don't have to do both these at once. My white one actually goes to my modem, and I'm not going to replace that right now because that is a newer cable. So, and then I'm going to plug that in, and once we get power going to it, you'll see the yellow light as it is warming or starting up, right? So I'm going to get this kind of set back here, and while it does that... Oh, I didn't plug that in all the way, did I? There we go. I'm going to go ahead and power up my modem as well. Alright, so I got that nice and flat. Hard to see the right color, but right now it's yellow, so that doesn't really matter. But once these obviously get going, we're going to give them a few minutes to boot up and get ready, and then we'll open up the app. So before I head over there, I do want to show we are in the blue phase. It is blinking blue, so it's ready for setup. And my modems are on internet, so we're good to go ahead and continue setup. So here we are. I downloaded the Deco app, which if you go to your app store, I just searched TP-Link. And this is the iPhone on the iPad here, but it's going to look like this. So you'll actually see the little picture of the Deco itself, which I open the app. So this is what it comes into as soon as you actually open the app. Now, of course, we haven't created an account, so we have to actually sign up for it, which we'll hit the sign up phase. I'm going to put in my email address and password, and then I'll hit sign up. Give me a moment. So as you can see here, once you hit the sign up phase, it tells you that an email has been sent to your email address, and then to go there to actually finish it. So it's got resend. But if I go to my email, I can see here, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that right there, and it's going to actually activate the account. So now that we're good to go, we can actually hit the login button right here. I've already registered. There we go. So click that checkbox, log in, and let's begin. So obviously remember my email and password that I put in here, so we're good to go. So we already did that, and this is going to actually kind of walk you through it. Right? Power off your modem, kind of like I said earlier. Plug in the devices, which you've already done. Check your modem. Internet is stable on my modem currently. It is pulsing blue, and that's where we are currently, right? So obviously you could have done this before we actually did that, but at least it gets it in the right frame of mind. So it looks like it found the Deco over Bluetooth, so we're going to actually do the setup over Bluetooth. Kind of reminds me of the Orbi setup when I did that. But now it's just sending and communicating. So now it's connected. Where is it placed? I'm going to... Geez, this stand is just not built for this. It is in the office, so connecting to the internet. Alright, so we have a dynamic IP from my provider. Now it's trying to connect to the internet through my internet provider, and we're just going to step by step and see how everything goes. I'm going to kind of pause the video here while we wait. So just a second ago it said, oh, phone connected and unit is online. I actually did get a small error for a second. I had to hit the retry button, and what I did is I actually unplugged the Ethernet cable that went to my computer. It just had the Ethernet going to the modem. For some weird reason it was weird, so it's probably best to set up with just the modem first. Now we're going to go ahead and create a network. In this case, I'm going to call it, let's see, GeekSmart. And our password is just going to be GeekSmart 2017 for now. So now it's creating my Wi-Fi network, and it's going to set it up accordingly. And it may take a few moments. The indicator lights are obviously probably going to be solid blue over there. But as it does that, we'll come back as soon as it's done. Well, I honestly didn't expect it to go that fast. It literally took another 5 seconds after I turned the video off. And it's complete. So now we have our GeekSmart Wi-Fi network, and now we can actually add a second one. So we're going to go ahead and hit add another Deco. We'll need, looks like we can do, just a power adapter in the Deco unit. You don't have to have anything else. Comes with everything you need. And we want to find a suitable spot. So actually I'm going to use the same location I did my Orbi, which is a good 30-40 feet away from the first one. I'm going to hit next, and we're going to hit plug in Deco. So we're going to actually get over and do that first before we hit next. Alright, welcome to my lovely yellow countertops here. I'm going to go ahead and just take this, and we're just going to plug in the USB-C port. It should go to yellow. There we go, so we know we're actually booting up. Once that goes to blinking blue, which will probably take a few moments, once it gets there, then we can actually go back to the app and hit the next button. So we'll give it a few moments and make sure it does that first. So it literally took maybe another 15 seconds and we're good. So now we're blinking blue and we are set to go back over to the app. Alright, so we have plugged in the Deco. It is blinking blue. We'll hit next and see if it can't find it. I guess we're going to connect via Bluetooth, so we may actually want to go to that room. Oh, we are close enough. Okay, good. Like I said, we are within about 30 feet of it, so as it slowly finds it, connected. And testing connection. So now it's going to make sure that it actually is close enough and has a fast enough connection with the main Deco unit that it actually works. Obviously, you don't want to have a unit that doesn't connect to the main unit very well wirelessly. If it's too far away, it'll tell you, things like that. So less than a minute, but while it does its thing, we'll take a break. Alright, so 5 seconds later, of course, every time. I'm going to call this kitchen because it actually isn't a kitchen. So we'll do that. Optimizing my network currently. And let's see what happens. Cool. Complete on the second one. So now we can actually go ahead and add a third one. So we're going to do the same thing, same process, add another unit, next. We're going to plug in the Deco and wait for it. As soon as it pulses blue, we'll come back to that. So let's go get the third one set up. So now I'm in my bedroom. I actually took the third one and I already plugged it into power and let it warm up, so it is flashing blue and ready to go. We'll hit the But now that it is flashing blue, you can see that I actually am connected to the Wi-Fi downstairs. Connecting Bluetooth to the third one here, so found it. And now you can see the light went solid, so we're connected to Deco, and it's going to make sure that the connection is good between, obviously, this guy and the main unit. I'm also, let's see here, we'll just wait for it to connect, I guess, and see it that way. Shouldn't take more than a few. Last time I did this, I turned off the camera, and 5 seconds later it was good to go. So we'll let it just go this time. And we are green and good to go, so that should turn green here shortly, but we are in the bedroom. So optimizing the network. Obviously it's naming it and setting it and getting all the setup procedure done for it. And now I'm going to hit done, and now we are connecting. You can see all 3 of them are actually now in a row there. There is an update available, so we're going to hit the update the Deco and update. Go ahead and update, and we're going to go ahead and let it do its thing and update. So just to show you, once it was done updating, it went back to green. It took a good 5 minutes, I would say. And then you can see here now that all 3 of my devices are online. 40 minutes ago, at least, it showed my update or my speed rating. And you can actually go into here, and looks like you should be able to stream internet videos. Oh, test again. There we go. And we can actually run a test currently and see what the actual rating would be as of right now. I'm assuming that actually uses speedtest.net because they actually had some of the logos and stuff from it. So yeah, it was showing download speed. Now it's testing upload speed, and then once it's done here, there we go, check mark. We can go back, change a little bit higher up, a little, maybe a hair lower down, but I mean 120. I pay for what is it, 100 to 150, so we're right in the middle of that, and connected all 3, and currently only 2 Wi-Fi devices. I haven't changed everything over to the new Wi-Fi password and everything, but you can go into the settings here. From what my, you can go into the and then change the passwords and stuff like that. We can go into parental controls and add parental controls, new profiles, stuff like that. So let's back out here again. Antivirus. If you actually have Trend, looks like Trend Micro, where you can have things set up for that. Quality of service. You can actually customize even and change the speeds and everything for different items. Yeah, we're not going to change any of that right now. And they have presets there as well. Advanced. Looks like IP4 versus IP6. LED control. They have a night mode, so it turns off the LED at night. The top one. Notifications. If you get specific notifications, I have them disabled in here, I guess, right now. IP4. You can see we're dynamic and all the IP addresses stuff there. IP6. We can switch that guy on. Let's see what that does. It looks like the dynamic IP6 control, IP address, and stuff like that, so we'll keep it as it was for now. Turn that back off. And update Deco, so that'd be actually updating the system that is currently up to date. And then managers, you can actually add secondary managers to the account as well. So, obviously adding secondary managers is kind of neat as well. But yeah, that's basic setup of the router. We can actually see how we can create another network if we need to as well, but we are good to go. So that is the setup of the Deco by TP-Link. Now I will say a few other things that I kind of touched on real quick, and then a few things that I didn't. Now first of all, within the app itself, you can control everything within here. Now this is a very secure one. As you can see here, they have home care on there. Like I said, when I kind of showed it quickly in the settings, which is the antivirus settings, that it does have filters actually built into that actually is brought to you by Trend Micro. So it is checking your internet to make sure that everything is very secure. So that I will give them total props on, because you don't see that in a normal everyday router system. That also said, within the main system here, and I only have 2 connected. I actually pulled one down real quick. I was going to actually show it here one more time. But 3 devices, you can see where I have 3 devices currently connected, my desktop and my iPhone and my Mac Mini, or my iPad, geez. I'm going to actually go ahead and pull up a Netflix video. How about that? One of the neat things about this is, okay, start streaming that. I'm not going to play the audio, but it is playing. It'll actually show you how much internet speed that each device is actually using. So you can see my iPhone barely nothing, Mac Mini nothing, but my iPad is going between 7 and, well, let's see, that's 0 kilobits per second. It must be, I must have already downloaded the video. Oh, now we're at 45 megabits per second. So it's kind of jumping all over the place as it buffers the video and fills it in. The more, obviously if I start uploading a YouTube video, it's going to show the upload on my actual Mac. Really neat thing, so you can actually monitor what device is actually hogging my internet right now. If you're watching something and all of a sudden buffering issues start happening, pull up in the app and you can actually see how much bandwidth each device that's connected to your system actually is utilizing. So that's pretty cool as well. Also, and I will point this out as well, if I actually go back to that devices menu, which I'll show you how to get to that one more time. Right here on the bottom here, show you the devices. For instance, let's say my iPhone here, if I actually click that, I can show information. I can actually put my iPhone as a high priority device, duration all time. Yeah, so it's always high priority. I can do the same thing with like a streaming box or my computer or something, right? So that device always takes priority over everything else. You can also, if I click on, let's see here, let's click on this guy here. I can say what type of this is. This is a phone, so I'm going to hit the phone device. It is Brian's iPhone. I'm going to hit save, so it knows the type of device it actually is. And you can change a whole bunch of neat things about this. Also, if I go into here, you can actually, let's see here. If I go back to, let's say Mac Mini, click on, actually up at the top here, you can see where I actually have a triple digit here, because this one is actually a device. I can blacklist it. I can not. Obviously, I'm on the iPhone, so I can't blacklist myself. But this is a device I'm not actually at, so I can blacklist it. Also, if I click on it again, I can change this as a PC. It's called Mac Mini, just like before. And you can mess around with a lot of these things, and it'll constantly be updating to tell you what's going on with it. I have my Mac Mini as a high priority device as well. I can also, in all of these, you can see this, there's another option, I don't know if you can see this, but there's a belongs to item. You can add a profile. I'll put my name in here, Brian. I can tell the type of profile it is, so I'm an adult. I can also change it to teen, preteen. And then within here, I can actually block content. So you can create, for my daughter's iPad, I can make it under her name, and I can block certain content. My younger daughter, I can put it under her name and actually block other content. So that parental control feature within here is awesome. It really is. So I definitely give TP-Link some real good credit on doing a lot of really awesome things with this. It's not so clear as to, for a lot of my friends at least, the universal plug and play, or being able to actually assign static IP addresses to each specific device. Doesn't say so much that if you create a profile for each device, whether or not that'll actually stick with that IP address, and only time will tell on that regards. But I don't see a specific menu option in there unless I'm just actually overlooking it. And I kind of am hoping that I am overlooking it, because that is one thing that I do like having, specifically with my desktop. I like to have a static IP address so that if I have something where I log in remotely, I can get directly to that IP address. So that would be one thing that I haven't seen yet. I'm going to try to click here. Oh, you can even choose time limits within there as well, within the parental control, so that's kind of cool. But you can create profiles for their whole family and kind of go from there. The priority of the device is nice, but being able to adjust the IP address, I think, would actually be really, really nice. But I don't see a direct way to do that specifically, at least not in the same sense that you've done probably many other times, I guess. Yeah, so yeah, I don't see that specifically, I guess. But that said, other than that one item, everything else in this is pretty awesome. And to be honest, probably 90+ of people don't care what their actual assigned IP address is per device, so it doesn't really matter. But you can see it, at least on the app as well. So that said, to be honest, this was one of the easiest of all the mesh systems I had to set up. I had the least amount of problems with this. The only issue I had, as I mentioned in the setup there, was when I first plugged things in, I don't know, maybe I didn't have the Ethernet port collecting all the way. I did notice that on my other one as well, but I made sure that I just had the only Ethernet cable that was plugged in was the modem to the router. That's where I would start. Just plug in the modem to the router and then set up, and then if you have other hardware devices, then plug them in. That was the only little hiccup I had, which I just went and unplugged it and then went back to the app and everything went fine. So that would be the only thing that I would say. Other than that, everything else was smooth. One thing that I did notice is, and this is actually why one of those is actually not connected, I tried to see if, I did wireless setup on all three of them, worked fine and flawless. I tried to put it in a section of the house that's so far away from Wi-Fi that you can't get it there, but I have an Ethernet cable ran there. And so I tried Ethernet setup. It didn't work. So from what I can tell, at least from the setup that I did, I could not get a wired setup to work with these guys. Doesn't work with a lot of mesh systems. There are a few out there that do, but not every mesh system can do wired. This is going to be a wireless setup. So that said, whether or not that pertains to you or not, it seems to be less likely that it does, but I am one of those guys that do like to have a wired setup. So that said, that would be the one thing that I kind of hope Deco does, or TP-Link does change on this, does maybe a firmware update that allows for wired setup rather than only wireless setup. So that said, I will have a full review on this guy once I have a lot more hands-on use with it. But as of right now, I have nothing but good things to say. Setup went really smooth, and I hope you guys enjoyed the setup video. That said, I kind of went through all the features within it, and real quick at least. But yeah, check it out. I will post a link directly where you can purchase this on Amazon. If you do purchase, thank you very much. You are supporting this program and helping me out for future videos. That said, guys, thanks for checking us out. Watch for the review. I will post the link at the top of the description when it actually is live, so that will come in the next couple weeks, more than likely. But thanks again for TP-Link to send this over. I did enjoy setting it up. I really did. It was a pretty nice system. It reminded me of the Eero. The Eero setup was probably the closest to how smooth the setup with this system. So really good job with the app. The app actually was better than I had anticipated when I actually started with it. So good job, and we'll catch you on the next install. See you guys later.